The Comedy of Errors, Act 4, Scene 4. Courtesan, whereas your husband all in range today came to my husband's house and took away my ring. The ring I saw upon his finger now, straight after did I meet him with a chain. Andriana, I may be so, but I did not never see it. Come, jailer, bring me where the goldsmith is. I long to know the truth before hereafter at range. Enter Antipholus of Syracuse with his rapier drawn, and Dromio of Syracuse. Louisiana. God for thy mercy, there are loose again, Andriana, and come with naked swords. Let's call more help to have them bound again. Officer, away, they will kill us. Ran all out as fast as may be frightened. Antipholus and Dromio of Syracuse remain. Antipholus of Syracuse, I see these witches are afraid of swords. Dromio of Syracuse, see that would be your wife now ran from you. Antipholus of Syracuse, come into the centaur, fetch out stuff from thence. I long that we were safe and sound abroad. Dromio of Syracuse, faith, stay here this night. They will surely do us no harm. You say they speak us fair, give us gold. Methinks they are such a gentle nation that, but for the mountain of mad flesh that climbs marriage of me, I could find in my heart to stay here still and turn witch. Antipholus of Syracuse, I will not stay tonight for the town. Therefore, away to get our stuff abroad. They exist. This scene 1. Enter the second merchant and Angelo the goldsmith. Angelo, I am sorry, sir, that I have hunted you, but I protest he had the chain of me, though most dishonestly he doth deny it. Second merchant. How is the man esteemed here in the city? Angelo, of very reverend reputation, sir, of credit infinite, highly beloved, second to none that lives here in the city. His word might bear my wealth at any time. Second merchant, speak softly yonder as I think he walks. Enter Antipholus and Dromio of Syracuse again. Antipholus wearing the chain. Angelo, it's so, and that self chain about his neck, which he is fast for, most monstrously to have. Good sir, draw near to me, I'll speak to him. Sognier Antipholus, I wonder much that you would put me into the shame and trouble, and not without some scandal to yourself. With circumstance and oath so deny this chain which now you wear too openly, beside the charge, the shame, imprisonment, you have done wrong to this my honest friend, who but for staying on your controversy had hoisted sail and put to sea today. This chain you had of me, can you deny it? Antipholus of Syracuse, I think I had, I never deny it. Second merchant, yes, that you did, sir, and forswear it too. Antipholus of Syracuse, who heard me to deny it or forswear it? Second merchant, these ears of mine, thou wast that did thee fire on thee, wrench, this pity that thou I livest, to walk where any honest man resort. Antipholus of Syracuse, thou art a villain to impeach me thus. I will prove mine honor and mine honesty against the persistently of those darest stand. Second merchant, I do defy thee of the villain. They draw. Enter Andriana, Louisiana, Courtesan, and others. Andriana, hold, hurt him not, for God's sake, he is mad. Some get within him, and take this sword away. Bend Romeo too, and bear them to my house. Romeo of Syracuse, run, master, run. For God's sake, take a house. This is some priority, or in are we spoiled. Antipholus and Romeo of Syracuse exit to the priority. Enter Lady Abbess. Abbess, be quiet, people, therefore wrong you hither. Andriana, to fetch my poor wretched husband, hence let us come in, that we bind him fast and bear him home for his recovery. Angelo, I know he was not in his perfect fits. Meskin merchant, I am sorry now, I did not draw on him. Abbess, how long has this position held the man? Andriana, this week he had been heavy, so sad, and much different from the man he was till it was afternoon. His passion never baked into extremely of rains. Hath he not lost much wealth by wreck of sea, buried some dear friend? Hath not else his eyes stayed his affection in unlawful love? A sin prevailing much in youthful men who give their eyes the liberty of gazing. Which of these sorrows is the subject to? Andriana, to none of these, except it would be the last, namely some love that draw him oft from home. Abbess, you should for that have repented him. Andriana, why, so I did. Abbess, hey, but not rough enough. Andriana, as roughly as my modesty would let me. Abbess, happily in private. Andriana, and in assembles too. Abbess, ay, but not enough. Andriana, it was the copy of a conference. In bed he slept not for my arguing it. At board he fled not for my urging it. Alone it was the subject of my theme. In company I often glanced it. Still I tell him it was a vile and bad. Abbess, and thereof come it with the man was mad. The venom clamours of the jealous woman, poisons were more deadly than a mad dog's tooth. It seemed his sleeps were hindered by the railing, and thereof comes it with his head is light. Those said his meat was sauced with the upbraidings, and quiet meals make all indigestions. Thereof the ragging fire of fever bred, and where is a fever but a fit of madness? Thou sayest his sports were hindered by the broads, sweet recreation barred. What doth ensue but moody and dull melancholy, kinsman to grim and comforter's despair, and at her wheels a huge infectious troop of pale distemperatures on forced to life, in food to sports and life preserving rest, to be disturbed would mad or man or beast. The consequence is then their jealousy fits hath scared a husband from the use of wits. Louisiana. She never reprehended him but mildly when he demanded himself rough, rude, and wily. Why bear you these rebunkers and answer not? Andriana, she did betray me to my own reproof. Good people enter and lay hold on him. Abbess, no, not a creature enters in my house. Andriana, then let your servant bring my husband forth. Abbess, neither, he took his place for sanctuary, and shall privilege him from your hands, till I have brought him to his wits again, or lose my labour in abasing it. Adriana, I will attend my husband, be his nurse, diet his sickness, for it is my office, and I will have no attorney but myself, and therefore let me have him home with me. Abbess, be patient, for I will not let him stir, till I have used the approved means I have, with wholesome syrups, drugs, and holy prayers, to make him a formal man again. It is a branch and parcel of mine oath, a charitable duty of my order. Therefore depart and leave him here with me. Andriana, I will not hence and leave my husband here until it doth beseem your holiness to separate the husband and the wife. Abbess, be quiet and depart. Thou shalt not have him. She exits. Louisiana to Andriana. Complain unto the Duke of the indignity. Andriana, come, go. I will fall prostrate all his feet and never rise until my tears and prayers have won his grace to come in person hither and take preference my husband from the abyss. Second merchant, by this I think the deal points at 5. Anon, I am sure the Duke himself in person comes this way to the melancholy vale, the place of death and sorrow execution, behind the ditches and the abbey here. Angelo, upon what cause? Second merchant, to show a reverend Caesarean merchant who but unlucky into the bay against the law and status of his town, beheaded publicly for his offense. Angelo, see where they come, we will behold his death. Luciana to Adriana, kneel to the Duke before he passed the abbey. Enter the Duke of Ephesus and Aegian, and the merchant of Syracuse, barehead with the headsman and other officers. Duke, at once again proclaim it publicly. If any friend will pay the sum for him, he shall not die. So much went under him. Adriana kneeling, justice must guard Duke against the abbess. Duke, she is a virtuous and a renowned lady. It cannot be that she hath done this wrong. Adriana, may it please your grace, Antipholus, my husband, who I made lord of me and I awed. At your important letters this all day, a most contagious fit of madness took him, that desperately he hurried through the street, with him his boardmen, all mad he, doing displeasure to his citizens by pushing in her house, bearing thence rings, jewels, anything the range did like. Once I did him bound and sent him home, whilst to make order of the wrongs. I went that there, and there his fury had committed Ammon. I wot not by what strong escape he broke from those that he had got for him, and will mad attendant and himself, each one with fearful patience, with the drawn swords and met us again, and madly bent on us, chased us away till rising of more aid. We become again to bind them, then they fled into the abbey, whither we pursued them, and there the abbey shut the gates on us, and will not suffer us to fetch them out, nor send him forth what we may bear him hence. Therefore, most gracious Duke, with a command, let him be brought forth and borne hence for help. Duke, long since thy husband served me in my wars, and I too engaged a prince sword, when whose doesn't make him master of thy bed. I do him all the grace and good I could. Go, some of you, knock the abbey gate, and bid the lady abbess come to me. I will determine this before I stir. Adriana rises, entering a messenger. Messenger, O mistress, shift and save yourself. My master and his men are that broke loose, beaten the maid Sero, and bound the doctor, whose beard they have signed off with bonds of fire, and ever as it blazed they threw on him great pails of puddled mire to quench the hair. My master preaches patience to him, and the while his man with scissors nicks him like a fool, and sure, unless you send some present help between them, they will kill the conjurer. Adriana, peace, fool! The master and his man are here, and that is false thou dost report to us. Messenger, mistress, upon my life I tell you true, I have not breathed almost since I did see it. He cries for you and woes if he'll take you, to scorch your face and to disfigure you, and cry within, hark, hark, I hark him, mistress, be gone. Duke, come and stand by me, fear nothing, God with beholds. Enter Antipholus and Romeo of Phileas. Adriana, hey me, is it my husband? Witness you that he is born about invisible. Even now we hounded him in the abbey here, and now he is there, passed out of human reason. Antipholus of Phileas, justice, most gracious Duke, oh grant me justice, even for the service that long since I had did thee, when I breasted thee in the wars and took deep scars to save thy life. For the blood that then I lost for thee, now grant me justice. Aegean aside, unless the fear of death doth make me doubt, I see my son Antipholus and Romeo. Antipholus of Phileas, justice, sweet prince, against the woman there, she whom he gave to me to be my wife, that hath abused and dishonored me, even in the strength and height of injury, beyond imagination is the wrong, that she this day hath shameless thrown on me. Duke, discover how, and thou shalt find me just. Antipholus of Phileas, this day, great Duke, she shut the doors upon me, while she with heralds feasted in my house. Duke. A grievous fault, say woman, does it thou so? Andriana. No, my God, Lord, myself, he, and my sister today we dine together. So befall my soul as this falls he burdens me with all. Luciana. Ever may I look on day